Someone makes an offhand comment, and you are still turning it over 3 days later. A sad scene in a film, a stranger's small kindness, a song you have heard 100 times, and your eyes are suddenly wet. Meanwhile, the people around you barely seem to register any of it. So at some point you got the message, you are too sensitive. You feel too much. But that is almost certainly the wrong frame. What you are living with may not be a flaw to fix at all. It may be a nervous system that runs at a higher volume than most. And once you understand how it works, the same thing that overwhelms you starts to make a very different kind of sense. Start with the science because it reframes everything. In the 1990s, the psychologist Elaine Aron described a temperament trait she called sensory processing sensitivity, found in maybe 15 to 20% of people, and present across dozens of animal species. It is not a disorder, and it is not something to be cured. It is a normal variation in how deeply a nervous system takes in and processes the world. If you have it, you are not imagining the intensity. Your brain genuinely registers more and processes it more deeply than the average person standing right beside you. The technical name is a highly sensitive person. The everyday version is simpler. You feel things at a volume most people will never quite hear. And the core of it is not actually emotion, it is depth of processing. Most people take in a piece of information and move on. A sensitive nervous system runs it through more loops, comparing it to past experiences, scanning for meaning, noticing the small details everyone else filtered out. Brain imaging research has found that people high in this trait show more activity in regions tied to awareness and deep processing when they take in the very same scene. So the strong feeling is downstream. You feel everything so deeply because you process everything so deeply first. The emotion is just how all of that quiet processing finally surfaces. And it does not stay inside your own head. People high in this trait tend to show stronger responses in the brain's empathy and emotion networks, the same regions that light up when we read other people. Which means you do not just notice that a friend walked in carrying something heavy. Your own body starts to carry it too. You absorb the mood of a room before a single word is spoken. You feel a stranger's embarrassment as if it were your own. From the inside, it can be genuinely hard to tell where other people's feelings end and yours begin. That is not you being dramatic. That is a nervous system built to tune in. But a system tuned that high comes with a real cost, and this is the part that keeps getting mislabeled. The same depth that lets you feel beauty so intensely also means bright lights, loud rooms, conflict, and other people's emotions pile up faster than you can clear them. What looks from the outside like overreacting is usually just overload. You are not weak for needing to leave the party early. You took in 3 times as much as everyone else in that room, and your system is simply full. And because the world rarely explains this gently, a lot of sensitive people learn to hide it. They mask, they apologize, they call themselves too much, and they quietly decide that something about them is broken. Here is what the too sensitive label completely misses. The same wiring is the source of your best qualities. The depth that floods you is the same depth that makes you notice when someone is quietly not okay, catch the detail everyone else walked past, and feel music and art and meaning with a richness many people secretly envy. Sensitivity is not the opposite of strength. It is a different kind of instrument. The problem was never the sensitivity. The problem is running a finely tuned instrument as if it were supposed to take the same pounding as everything else. So what actually helps is not toughening up. It is learning to work with the volume instead of against it. And one small practice changes a surprising amount. When a wave of feeling hits, before you decide that it is yours, pause and ask one question. Is this mine, or am I carrying it for the room? Sometimes the heaviness lifts the instant you realize it walked in with someone else. And protect your input the way you would protect any sensitive instrument. Quiet after stimulation is not a luxury for you. It is how the system clears itself so it can do the thing it does best without drowning. So why do some people feel everything so deeply? Not because they are weak or broken or too much. because their nervous system takes in the world at a higher resolution, and feeling is simply what all that depth turns into. The work is not to feel less. It is to stop apologizing for the volume and start learning how to carry it. If this felt like you, comment one word for what feeling everything is like for you, gift or weight. And if you want more of these, subscribe to MindSpace.